What is up, everybody? Welcome to the channel here for another video. And today's video, I got like two little topics to talk about today. One is going to be the Scary Movie 6 trailer controversy over the pronouns joke. I'm going to save that one towards the end because I think in that video, Marlon Wayans did a great job of summing up just about how I felt about the whole situation. But the one I wanted to start off with was, of course, the race swap casting. And for the second season of A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, which season one was a great series, is damn near perfect, but great season one. Everyone was looking forward to season two. I think people still are. Don't get me wrong. People are still looking forward to it, but there is a contingent that aren't very happy about the casting of, I hope I'm saying this correctly, Babalu or Babu. Yeah, Babu Seaway. He's a Gambian actor. He was on the show Alien Earth, and he was the best part. He was the best part in that god-awful show. He was the best part of the show. So he got cast as Sir Bennis the Brown. And so the controversy with that is of course, he's drawn as a white guy, but the argument to that is, well, in the novels, how he looks, his race, it's not mentioned. But the guy or individuals who adapted the graphic novel went ahead and made the guy white. So, of course, like I said, there's a contingent that are not too thrilled about it. They're actually saying this is a whole bait and switch because season one was praised not only by audiences, but critics as well. A lot of people felt that, masculinity has been getting a bad rap, and just all in all, storytelling, particularly from the fantasy aspect, and just it's all been kind of nihilistic, kind of going, and we actually have a character that is just a good guy. And so people really looking forward, and they feel now that they hooked us in and did the old bait and switch. Now we're gonna go back to how it used to be. And I don't think that's the case. I think this is a bit of blind casting. I think that somewhat, just stay with me though. I think it's somewhat of blind casting. They say a lot of that's going on these days. I mean, you can see it on a lot of Netflix shows, just shows in general, particularly period piece shows where, they have stuff taking place in medieval England, and you have like black people being earls and and like parts of England that there is no evidence and did not exist. But it's blind casting. But I think also they're not too off, because if you look at Warner Brothers, when I was researching this story, they have a whole department that is dedicated to inclusion. So, their job is to, do these kind of castings. And it sucks for the actor, because I never blame the actors. I mean, they're working. They're just trying to make a living. And like I said, he's a great actor. But I do have a problem with race swapping. And I'm going to talk about those. And, the first one right off the bat is when you swap the character, he or she is still viewed as the character they were before, i.e. Captain America, Sam Wilson. He's still looked at as Falcon, and even the movie knew that. The movie made it overemphasis for people to call him like, you're Captain, man, you're Captain America. Whereas if it's already what is known doesn't need to be said. And it sucks. Anthony Mackie's a great actor. I thought he was an amazing Falcon. If you wanted him to have a bigger role, expand his role as Falcon. He doesn't need the mantle of Captain America. And before anybody says it, yes, I'm aware that he did it in the comics. But if you do know that, you do know that it was a total fail, that it didn't sell very well, and it went out of, they moved on. They moved on from that. So I think that's one of the problems. But I think even the worst problem I feel is that, to me, it just feels lazy. They're just giving you table scraps. It could come off very disingenuous, because it's more or less, hey, look what I did. When if you truly cared, you would take the time to create an original character, or There's lots of established black characters in the world of Marvel. Do their backstory, like give them the treatment, the red carpet, roll out the red carpet that you did for your other titular characters. Because that'll really show that you care. Or if you want to go original, hey, we want more black creatives. Get out there and go find them, because they're out there. And for this, in the last, not only for this video, but in the last year or two, I'm not gonna sit up here in front and be like, hey man, I've been out here. Look, I've been following all these black creators. I'd be lying to you. But I will tell you this though, in the last year or two, I've been out there looking and searching. And like, you got Rodney Barnes, his Philadelphia series. You have Soul Hammer Comics, and you have Greg Burham, who has the Tuskegee Heirs. So the stuff is out there, and to me, the proof would be behind the pudding. You would go out and find these people and give them opportunities rather than give them characters you already have established, like basically hand-me-downs. That would truly show that you cared, and it would cut out the noise that you hear from that contingent who complain about the race swapping. Because as a kid, and I'm somebody who grew up, in the comics, in the fantasy, I did not once be like, well, I can't really cheer on or appreciate Batman because I don't see myself in Batman. For one, he's a fucking made up character, but two, I liked the resilience he has, the ability with prep time, Batman can take anybody out. I just liked the character. His race had nothing to do why I liked him. But also, there's a other side to that. Were there times where I'd be like, dang, I wish there was, the more black heroes or whatever, this and that and the other? Absolutely. Because like I said, I'm born in the early 80s, grew up in the 90s. The joke used to be what? Black people, black people, we were the first to die in the movies, like horror movies. We was the first one out of here, or we were always playing some kind of, criminal or this or that and the other, And so I would say we've come quite a bit since those days. Still got a little bit ways to go, but we definitely come a long way from that. And so, like I said, as somebody as somebody who actually watches the media, or excuse me, mediums, like as far as reading and watching the material, knowing the source material, I like I said, I can somewhat understand why some people would get upset. But my thing is, particularly like Warner Brothers, these people that have these departments dedicated to finding talent, stop giving us your leftovers and go out here and let them establish original IP, or actually use characters that are black or Hispanic or whoever, and bring them onto screen. Give them the red carpet treatment. We showed you Black Panther. If you really take the time, we'll come out. We'll come out and support it big time. Big time. But these scraps and handouts, that's where you're going to cause the problems. And like I said, that contingent, they're going to let their voices be heard. And then we're just going to be having this back and forth. Now, yes, are some of the people, yes, they are completely they're completely racist. But at the same time, there's people on the other side that are screaming, "Oh man, I don't see myself in." So you don't watch the shit. No way. You're just you have no dog in the fight. You're just throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks. Like you're not really like that as far as watching and consuming the material. You just want to get in the argument because you heard somebody say something you don't like. So that's kind of like how I feel about, is it going to stop me from watching season 2? Absolutely not. I'm going to watch it and enjoy it. But I just wish that these departments, they would realize, do you realize what you're doing? Like, it's like you take 2 steps forward and you'll take 1 back. When I just gave you an easy fix that would fix it. Like somebody be like, P, how would you solve this problem? Look, if you really wanted to cast him very bad, we like him. We want to put him in the song, and we want to put him in a Song of Ice and Fire. I would say this: you go ahead and cast him. If you want him to play that character, give him aspects of that character. Make him an amalgamation of that character, and then you give him some of the character business, and then you give him stuff from your original, your original ideas. And that way you kind of make both people happy. You're still not gonna make everybody happy. But I think, just like I said, you're just sitting here going, see, we're inclusive. But at the same time, you're really being, you're like the people who they'll see somebody homeless, see them on the street, give them money, but then pull their phone out and go, look at me, look what I did today. That's what it is. You didn't just see that person giving the money and you did it out of the kindness, you kept it moving. You had to make sure you told everybody how good of a person you truly are. So that's kind of like how I feel about that. It's like, it's such an easy fix. And it's like they keep making the same mistake over and over again. And they're wondering, like, man, all these people are racist, or these people, they're pissed off, this and that. Wake up. It's just a character or whatever. But let me tell you, you're starting a slippery slope with that, because we've all seen it. We've all seen the Ryan Gosling meme as Black Panther. We laugh. We think it's funny. But at the same time, in the comics, T'Challa has a white son. Now, all hell would break loose if they brought that character from on screen in live action or whatever. People would lose their fucking minds. But yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on that. And like I said, we're gonna go over and segue into Scary Movie 6, the whole thing with the pronouns. Like I said, I think Marlon Wayans, he kind of took care of all that. I mean, he basically put it out there that, we're here to cancel culture. It's time to bring back, the comedy that, we enjoyed. Because I remember going to the movies and seeing the first one. I think I was like 17, because it came out 99, 2000. So yeah, I was like 17, 18 years old. I remember watching it. I think Scary Movie 2 is the best one, though. Scary Movie 2 is the best one. But yeah, I mean, a lot of people are saying that, the pronouns thing, it was low hanging fruit. It's not funny. They have the audacity to say Marlon Wayans is transphobic, even though he has a trans child, and he goes hard in the paint for that community. He actually had a beef with Soulja Boy. Him and Soulja Boy was going at it, because Soulja Boy, I think, said some disrespectful things about his child and the community that they're a part of. And the thing I don't understand is, you have, like me overall, I don't care what you do, just long as you ain't messing with mine. As long as whatever you do in life doesn't affect my family and my kids and everything, we're good. So, you hear these individuals where we want to be seen, we want to be treated like everyone else. Well, in comedy, that's how comedy works. Anybody could get it. Everybody gets it. There's no limits. There's no limits. It's like the Charlie Murphy thing when he talked about Rick James. He's like, Rick, you crossing the line. You crossing the line. There's no such place. There's no such line that can't be crossed when it comes to comedy. At least that's how I feel. I just, the rule of thumb, it's got to be funny. It's got to be funny. And then you look at the scary movies. They're parody movies. It's camp. This is what they do. They pull stuff out of the headlines and they lampoon it. That's what they do. I don't know. I think we were in a better place when we had scary movies. I grew up on the Wayans, watching In Living Color. And then, and that's the thing I love about the 90s. I could be called in, a prisoner of my time, nostalgia, whatever. Everybody's time they came of age and grew up in is the best. But I truly feel this in the bottom of my heart that the 90s was the last great decade. It was, at least to me, it was. I feel it was the last great decade. And people talk about wanting diversity. It's so crazy. I think a lot of the people that scream up and down about, oh, we want diversity, I don't think they do. I don't think they want diversity. Because coming up in the 90s, I feel that's where a lot of the diversity was. We didn't even have to really talk about it. We just lived it. You know, we just lived it. Like I could be at home watching it Living Color, and then I'm gonna watch SNL. Whatever, like it's just the music, everything. Like it was there was variety, and life was so much better back then. I don't know, but like I said, it could just be that's where I came up with, or the era I grew up in, and I'm in middle age, and so I'm oftentimes reflecting back on that time and how great yesteryear was. It's like my dad when he used to talk about the 60s and 70s, how great it was, and y'all don't even know what it's like. And here I am doing that about the 90s. But like I said, I think Marlon Wayne's said it best. You know, man, we're here to cancel culture. And like I said, it has to be funny. It has to be funny. And like I said, look at Tropic Thunder. You make it make sense, you know, and it's got to be funny. They were able to make the Robert Downey Jr. character make sense. He was a dude playing a dude disguised as another dude. And we thought that shit was funny. Any black person that tells you they was offended by that, I would say that was probably born before the 60s, because most people 60s and down, the shit was funny. Like somebody from my grandparents' era, they may not find that shit funny. You know, born in the 20s and 30s, they ain't gonna find that shit too funny. But yeah, it's all about lived experiences. But yeah, guys, that's all I have for this. Like I said, they went a little bit longer, went about 4 or 5 minutes longer than I expected, but it is what it is. So wrapping this up, guys, like I always say, if it's for 1 minute, 5 minutes of the whole damn video, I appreciate you taking time out of your day to view my content. If you haven't already, do me a favor, hit that subscribe, smash the like, hype the video if that is an option. It helps smaller channels like mine to get out there in the algorithm and brings more eyes to the channel. I really appreciate it. And with that being said, everybody, it's your boy P signing off, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Take it easy.